They called him the perfect husband, the kind of man you pray to meet once in a lifetime. Charming, generous, God-fearing, and just broken enough to make you want to fix him. When Dr. Emily Carter, a respected eye surgeon from Mississippi, met Daniel Whitmore through a Christian dating site, she felt it was finally her turn. After a painful divorce and years of loneliness, this man felt like an answered prayer. Daniel had a tragic past. His first wife, Laura, had died in a freak accident, crushed beneath a car while changing a flat tire on a remote road in Colorado. Everyone mourned with him. Everyone believed him. He even spoke about his depression and how close he came to ending his own life. That pain made him relatable. Emily wasn't just impressed, she was moved. Daniel was kind, spiritual, attentive. He said he raised money for children's hospitals and churches. Millions of dollars, he claimed. A man of service, not status. They messaged for weeks, then phone calls. Then came the weekend in Denver, a medical conference where they finally met in person. It felt like something out of a movie. He was tall, handsome, confident. Her family called him Prince Charming. Within weeks, he proposed. She said, yes. What Emily didn't see was the storm hiding behind the sunshine. What no one saw was that this man had a pattern, and her name was about to be added to it. Emily's family adored her. A strong, outspoken Southern woman with deep roots in her church and a relentless work ethic. She ran 2 busy clinics, drove herself hard, and still made time for Sunday dinners and family devotionals. So when Daniel showed up in Mississippi, all charm and prayer, they were relieved. Finally, someone who seemed to match her values. At dinner, he held hands during grace, spoke kindly to her mother, even offered to help with her clinic operations. A man who wanted to take care of her? That felt like destiny. Within months, Emily packed her life into boxes and moved to Colorado with Daniel. He promised her a fresh start. You won't have to work so hard anymore, he said. You'll be a mom, a wife. Let me take care of the rest. He meant it literally. Daniel took over the clinic finances, suggested firings, questioned decisions. Emily's mother noticed something odd. $100,000 missing from the clinic account. Emily was stunned, but Daniel had a calm explanation. I invested it for us, babe. Money shouldn't just sit there. And somehow, Emily believed him. She always wanted a partner she could trust, someone to lighten her load. So when he said he was handling things, she let him. But quietly, her smile began to fade. Her independence was slipping through her fingers, and she wasn't sure how to grab it back. Emily and Daniel got married in a beautiful mountain ceremony. Her dress flowed in the crisp air, her smile wide but nervous. Photos show a glowing bride and a proud groom. But behind the lens, friends were beginning to notice small cracks. Daniel started micromanaging her life, even her role as a new mother. When baby Lily was born, Daniel insisted on doing all the diaper changes. He controlled nap times, feedings, even who could visit. Emily wasn't allowed to put her own daughter to bed. Her eyes changed. Gone was the sparkle of the confident doctor. In its place, resignation. She once joked to her brother, I feel like a guest in my own home. Still, she stayed. Divorce had shattered her once before, and she wasn't going to fail again. She told herself this was normal, that Daniel was just hands-on, that it was love, just in a different shape. Meanwhile, the money continued to disappear. Her father, who managed the family's oil royalties, called in frustration. Where is all this money going, Emily? She didn't know. She wasn't allowed to know. One night, Her father demanded she open a personal bank account in her name only. On the other line, Daniel was secretly listening in. That moment, they realized something was terribly off, but it would soon be too late.
4 years into the marriage, Emily was pregnant again. A daughter. Her joy returned briefly. This was what she had always wanted. A family, a fresh start, a reason to endure. But just weeks after giving birth, she suffered a terrible accident. Daniel had taken her to a remote mountain cabin for a weekend getaway. At night, he called her outside to help him with a broken light fixture. As she bent down, a heavy wooden beam struck the back of her neck. She was airlifted to Denver with a broken neck and nerve damage in her hand, nearly ending her career as a surgeon. When she finally spoke to her mother, her voice trembled. "If I hadn't bent forward, that beam would have killed me." Her mother didn't hesitate. "Emily, I think he's trying to hurt you, and I don't want you alone with him ever again." The family urged her to leave, to investigate, to look deeper. But Emily, still wounded, still determined to keep her marriage intact, stayed. She told herself it was an accident, just bad luck. But her family couldn't shake the feeling. Something didn't fit, and they were right. Because just months later, Daniel would plan one final surprise, one that would take Emily to the edge of a cliff, literally. For their wedding anniversary, Daniel arranged a surprise trip to the Rocky Mountains. He called Emily's clinic and cleared her schedule using fake patient names. She had no idea. When she opened the waiting room door that afternoon, there he was, smiling with his signature charm. A nurse filmed the moment on her phone. Emily looked confused, hesitant. She didn't even hug him back. Still, she agreed to go. That weekend, the couple sent cheerful photos from the historic Stanley Hotel and nearby trails. But back in Mississippi, Emily's brother received a chilling text. "Emily fell," it read. "She slipped off a rock." Then Daniel called. "Call mountain rescue, please. Do it now." The family froze. Rescue crews were dispatched. Daniel sent texts to Emily's brother, vital signs, breathing rates. It all sounded off, suspiciously calm, like he was reading from a script. Emily was found near the base of a rocky slope, unconscious, barely breathing. Daniel claimed she was taking pictures of wild turkeys and stepped back too far. Then, in another version, he said she lost balance while turning. In a third, she simply vanished when he looked away. 3 versions, 1 weekend. None of them made sense. Within 24 hours, Emily was gone. The text arrived just 10 minutes later. "She's gone. Emily is gone." Emily's family shattered. Her parents were in disbelief. Her father, usually stoic, collapsed into tears. It was the first time her brother ever saw him cry.
But the heartbreak quickly turned into suspicion. Park rangers found a map in Daniel's car, an old trail guide with a red X drawn near the exact area Emily had fallen. He had marked it, planned it, no doubt. Investigators questioned Daniel. He fumbled, said he didn't remember marking the map, claimed he just liked hiking. His stories shifted daily. Her body was rushed to the coroner's office, but before the family could even grieve, Daniel was pushing for cremation. Fast, no viewing, no delay. Emily's mother begged, "I need to see my daughter." Daniel refused. He had convinced Emily to sign a document months earlier, agreeing to cremation if anything ever happened. The paper was legal, binding, and now irreversible. Just like that, Emily's body was gone, along with the truth she might have told. But the signs of foul play were already rising from the ashes, and Daniel had no idea what was coming. The coroner called Emily's brother. What he said made everyone's blood run cold. "There was almost no blood in her body," the coroner said. Yet her head wound was severe, deep scalp lacerations. She should have bled out on the scene. Whoever was with her should have been soaked. But Daniel never mentioned blood. Not once. And those vitals he texted? They didn't match her real condition. The timeline didn't add up either. The 911 call was odd. Daniel was too calm, too rehearsed. The operator noticed something chilling. He never sounded out of breath during CPR, and when she gave instructions, he wasn't following them. He wasn't even trying. That's when investigators decided to walk the trail themselves. They retraced Daniel's steps using GPS and recovered photos. What they found was damning. Emily couldn't have simply slipped. The ledge was blocked by a rocky outcrop. No way to fall unless pushed. And based on her injuries and position, that's exactly what happened. They looked at each other and said it out loud for the first time. He murdered her. Now they just had to prove it. Digging into Daniel's past, detectives made a horrifying discovery. This wasn't the first time. 17 years earlier, his first wife Laura had died in another accident. Same pattern, remote area, just the two of them. A flat tire, he claimed the car slipped off the jack and crushed her. And just like Emily, Laura had a massive life insurance policy, one Daniel cashed in within days. The crematorium director remembered him vividly. He was the only man I've ever seen demand a cremation that fast, he said. Then came the bombshell. Daniel had taken out not one, but 3 life insurance policies on Emily. Over $4.5 million total, without her knowledge. He had also listed another woman, Grace, a longtime friend, as a beneficiary on a secret policy. When Grace found out, she froze. "It was like I was next in line," she said. It was a pattern, a method, a man who seduced, isolated, controlled, and then eliminated. Emily wasn't the first, but her death would be the last. The walls were closing in. Grace, the woman Daniel had once charmed and manipulated, came forward. She remembered Laura's death, the same eerie details, the sudden funeral, the push for cremation, the silence. "I realized," she said, "I was almost his next victim." With Grace's help, the DA reopened Laura's case. The pattern was undeniable. 2 wives, 2 mountain accidents, 2 hasty cremations, 2 giant life insurance payouts, and 1 man, always nearby, always controlling the narrative. Daniel Whitmore was arrested for the murder of Emily Carter. The courtroom was packed. Emily's family sat front row. Grace testified. So did the coroner, and the mountain rescue team, and the operator from the 911 call. The jury took only hours. Guilty. First-degree murder, life without parole. Daniel sat motionless. The mask had finally fallen. Emily's parents wept. Her brother clutched her daughter Lily in his arms. "She'll grow up safe," he whispered. "She'll know who her mother was." And that's what mattered now. Today, Lily lives with Emily's brother and his wife. She has her mother's eyes, her curiosity, her fierce little spirit. The family keeps Emily's memory alive. Birthday celebrations, photo albums, bedtime stories filled with her laughter. They tell Lily the truth gently, that her mum was brave, that she loved her more than anything, that her story matters. Emily Carter was more than a victim. She was a doctor, a sister, a daughter, a mother. She saved lives, and in death, she exposed a killer. Daniel Whitmore sits in a prison cell, stripped of his masks, his schemes, his future. He will never walk free again, never touch another life with his poison. But Emily? She lives on, in Lily's smile, in every patient she once healed, in every woman who hears her story and sees the warning signs and chooses to walk away before it's too late. Because monsters don't always look like monsters. Sometimes they look like the perfect man, the perfect husband. but love shouldn't cost your life. And thanks to Emily, more lives might just be saved. The aftermath was quiet, but powerful. In the small Mississippi town where Emily was born, the church bells rang for her. Friends gathered for a memorial service, even though there was no body. Just memories, just grief. Her childhood pastor spoke of legacy, of justice, and of the divine strength that carried Emily through the darkest days. "She didn't die a victim," he said. "She died a warrior, and her truth caught a predator." Local news outlets picked up the story, then national ones. Soon, Emily's face was everywhere, not as a tragedy, but as a warning. Podcasts, documentaries, true crime panels, they all tried to piece together how a man like Daniel could walk among us for so long, hiding in plain sight. But survivors know. They know charm can be a weapon. That control doesn't always look like screaming. Sometimes it looks like, "I'll take care of it." Like, "Don't worry, you pretty head." Like, "Trust me." That's how monsters move. Silently, carefully, until someone shines a light. Emily was that light. She couldn't save herself in the end, but she saved others. And her story, now amplified, was doing the work her voice never got to finish. Behind bars, Daniel tried to play the same game. He smiled for guards, quoted scripture, claimed innocence, sent letters to old friends asking for support, for sympathy. But no one answered. His mask was gone. And without it, he was just a man exposed by his own arrogance. Meanwhile, Lily grew. She asked questions. Her uncle gave her age-appropriate truths, told her about the mother who loved sunflowers, who used to sing in the car, who believed in second chances and prayed before every meal. She was strong, he'd say, brilliant, funny, and she loved you more than anything in the world. The family fought to keep Emily's legacy alive. A scholarship was created in her name for young women in medicine. Her clinics were renamed the Carter Vision Center, with a plaque that read, "In honor of a life lived with courage and purpose." Each year on Emily's birthday, Lily and her grandparents release a single lantern into the sky. It floats upward, soft and glowing, like Emily's spirit watching over them all. Justice had come. Too late to save her, but not too late to stop the cycle. Sometimes Lily dreams about her mother. She doesn't remember her voice, but she remembers the warmth, the way she used to rest her head against Emily's chest, the scent of lavender, the soft hum of lullabies that somehow still echo in her heart. And in those dreams, Emily never cries. She smiles, always. As Lily grows, she asks more questions about love, about danger, about how to tell when someone is lying behind a smile. Her family doesn't sugarcoat it. They teach her what Emily didn't know soon enough, that evil often wears a gentle face, that love without freedom is not love at all. And Lily listens. She becomes strong, protective, brave. Emily's story is now taught in domestic abuse seminars and law enforcement trainings. Her case reshaped how certain deaths are investigated. Her name has become more than a cautionary tale. It's a symbol that even when justice is delayed, it is not denied. That silence can become power. That tragedy can become testimony, and that a woman's voice, even when stolen, can echo louder than any lie.
Daniel never expected to get caught. He built his life on the belief that he was smarter than everyone else, that his charm would protect him, that women were disposable, and insurance money would cover every mess he left behind. But he underestimated something. He underestimated family, love, community, truth. He didn't expect Emily's parents to fight for her even after death. He didn't expect Grace to come forward. He didn't expect the detectives to connect the dots, or for a small red X on an old map to unravel his entire web. And most of all, he didn't expect Emily's legacy to outlive him. Because while he sits in silence behind bars, her story moves. Through classrooms, courtrooms, podcasts, prayers. Every time her name is spoken, his grip weakens. Every time someone walks away from a dangerous relationship because of her story, his darkness loses. And every time Lily looks in the mirror and sees her mother's strength staring back, Daniel Whitmore becomes just a man who failed to silence a woman who refused to disappear. In the end, Emily Carter became more than a victim of a monster. She became a reminder that appearances lie, that kindness can be a mask, that love isn't real unless it allows you to breathe. Her story didn't end at the edge of a mountain. It continues. Every time someone dares to question what doesn't feel right, every time a woman reclaims her voice, every time justice finds the courage to speak louder than fear, Lily will grow up knowing the truth. Not just about what happened, but about who her mother truly was. A healer, a fighter, a light, and now, a legacy.